Brother and sister Daniel and Rhonda cared for their dad Bob as he lived with Alzheimer's disease. He later passed away from pulmonary fibrosis.
My dad was a very special guy. He was very generous, very kind.
So let's go back to his time in Florida. Kind of describe what he was like there and what you started to see.
When he was in Florida, he was doing great and loved living there.
I got a phone call from my cousin, and he started out and just said, I just want to let you know everything is okay, but your dad was hit by a car.
I wasn't sure he was going to make it. He was bruised literally from head to toe and broken ribs, broken shoulder. And when he woke up, he was really confused.
I think the accident took a toll on him.
And then how did you come together as a family to make the decision to move him back up here?
We knew that we couldn't keep him down there. We brought him back up here, and she drew the lucky straw that got him to move in with her. I'd have him in the evenings, and she would have him the rest of the time at her place.
So tell me a little bit about that. What was that like?
It was a wonderful experience. We got really close, and I got to spend a lot of time with my dad. It was very stressful at times because I had to bring him everywhere. If I went grocery shopping, he had to come with me. If I had to go to the doctor's appointment, he came with me. For my dental appointments, I would schedule them at the same time as my dad's. That's what we did for almost 2 years.
Alzheimer's disease, it permeates a patient's experience. It affects all aspects of their life, where they can live, what they can do. When we have a patient with Alzheimer's disease, we have two patients. We have the patient and we have the caregiver or the family. Research is fairly clear that the most important ingredient to a successful care program for someone suffering from Alzheimer's disease is a dedicated caregiver, a dedicated family.
Was there something that changed that made you reevaluate this homestay time?
It just wasn't safe for him to stay living with us anymore because we couldn't watch him 24/7 every second. I mean, it was a godsend that Dan found this place in Cannon Falls, and we were able to afford it all the way through. And it was a really nice facility. The aides were wonderful.
We had a term for my dad. We call him Bad Bob when he was kind of in one of those moods, you know. So if we were down there visiting and it wasn't a pleasure, you know, we would just say, oh, Bad Bob was here tonight, you know. They said we want him to go through a behavior modification.
The good news is we can keep people in their homes. We can keep people in their long-term care placement. We can improve their thinking and functional performance. Again, we don't cure the illness, but again, I like to remind people we don't cure many things in adult medicine. We don't cure diabetes. We don't cure heart failure. We manage it, and we can manage neurodegenerative brain disease.
We didn't see much of Bad Bob after behavior modification. It changed him. It was a pleasure, again, to go and visit with him.
So when you did go to visit your dad, what are some of the things you would do with your dad in Cannon Falls?
I would take him for a ride. We would take him, go up by the lake, just get him out of there.
And I remember going down there one time and you know, I heard some music, and you know, I walked into the common area, and there he was dancing with one of the aides. He was happy, you know, and that really made me realize that we made the right call at putting him in there when we did, because you know, those were things that as he progressed, we couldn't give him anymore. I mean, my dad was a Superman to us, and I think to everybody who knew him.
He was our Superman.